the FBI raided a home of a Washington Post reporter yesterday. Again, more of a Beltway New York story than a national one. And this was part of a classified leak investigation into this contractor who he has already been arrested. He was arrested before this raid, it sounds like. This reporter was not the target of the investigation, but the FBI took her phone and her laptop. Look, I know a lot of conservatives are sort of cheering this, but like, not to get on a soapbox here, but I just feel like this is something they absolutely should not be cheering. I mean, like, this gut instinct, I get it, from conservatives to sort of bash the media because of their leftward bend, because of what they perceive as sort of unfair coverage. I get that totally. But this is a totally different thing when you raid a journalist's home, take their stuff, to find out, their sourcing, et cetera. And it really calls into question, the freedoms of the press, which the Supreme Court has long upheld and which is obviously good for democracy. And the other thing I want to say is just consider this, right? Like, in a future presidency, say it's a President AOC, and she and her administration decide to go after a Nick Shirley and seize all his stuff. And if the shoe is on the other foot, people would be freaking out. And they did freak out. Sean, I know you disagree with me, so definitely go ahead.
Here's what I disagree with, though. Explain it. Like, let's go to the facts. What do we know? Mm-hmm. We know that there's a contractor that was arrested for possessing and spreading classified information, correct? Right. True?
Correct. Already arrested, by the way.
Okay, right. So that's a fact. Because I had a lot of conversations with media reporters yesterday. What do I think? Am I cheering this on? And I said, the answer I give them is, I don't know yet. Yeah. Because if this reporter, she has a history of talking to whistleblowers and sources or whatever. Yeah. Possession of classified information is illegal. Okay, you don't get a pass because you have a press pass. If it's classified information by law, is illegal to possess. Okay, full stop. So if this contractor gave her classified information and she was storing it on her laptop, on her phone, etc., that's illegal. They have a right to come in and sanitize it to make sure that it's not being picked up. Like, again, this whole idea is just because of her job, she gets a pass.
I hear you on that.
True. So what I said to reporters yesterday is, why are you reflexively saying it's an attack on the press if you don't know the facts? And that's the fact. We don't know why that phone was taken yet. We don't know if she had classified information. And until we do, as much as there's some conservatives that are reflexively cheering it on, every reporter yesterday reflexively said this is an attack on the press without knowing the facts.
Okay, a couple thoughts on this real quick.
Both things can be true.
So if reporters couldn't have access to classified, I get it. You should the government absolutely has to investigate these sorts of things and trail them down. But when it comes to reporters and classified information, I mean, if they think about the Pentagon Papers, think about the mass surveillance of Americans.
Hold on, Donald Trump likely is not president if Julian Assange does not leak all that stuff to the Russians. Sean, that stuff totally impact. I'm not saying they played a part in it. Yes. We fought that fight, but you cannot deny that all that information illegally obtained by somebody did not
given to a reporter. Okay, but there's more than that, I want to say, and that is, reporters sort of have a history, and maybe this isn't
for the record. I believe that Assange broke the law.
Listen, just a few weeks ago. The New York Times, and I believe it was the Post, maybe even from, this story and this investigation of this reporter, but they had the information about the U.S. operation in Venezuela to take Maduro. They didn't publish it. And over the years, reporters do this often. Like, if they think troops are in jeopardy, they think that's going to infringe on national security, it's a big, they won't publish it and they'll hold. But you can also, if you think a reporter has classified information, like, reach out to them and say, like, there's supposed to be an accommodation process. Like, you reach out, you say, we're concerned about this because of this. Like, you need to get rid of that. Like, a conversation can be had. I don't think most reporters want to endanger national security. But anyway, I digress.
Well, but I also want to just say, I want to just add that I think the three of us would agree. Fundamentally, in this country, you should not always trust your government. Democrats and Republican administrations lie and do things they should not do. And it is the power of a free press that holds that government accountable, whether it's there's a small scale, but Nick Shirley and the man on the street or the people at the New York Times, in both administrations, you're around the game long enough. You have a healthy skepticism of your government. And Sean, I would rather the journalists make the mistake of printing the classified information than not. In the long run, we're a better country for it.
Okay.
That's my
law,
opinion.
again, this gets back to, it's like immigration. There's a law. You either follow it or you don't. The law right now says it's illegal to possess it. You don't get a pass. Nick Shirley didn't do anything classified.
I hear you. That's why it's a little bit of an apple.
There's no equivocation.
I hear you.
I'm very skeptical of the government.
What? Here's the other thing, though. Why did they need it? Because they already got this guy, right? Like they got this guy.
So let me give you an example. During the issue, during the whole Russiagate thing, when the dossier came down, it was technically referred to as Annex A, the Steele dossier. When the BuzzFeed produced it, I have a security clearance. I could not go look at it on an open source thing. That's illegal. I had to go into a SCIF and have it presented in a secure environment. Just because it's in the public does not give you the right as someone who possesses classified as a security clearance. There are procedures for doing this. It seems silly maybe, but once you put it on your phone and somebody can hack it, there's a whole reason and process for it. You may not like it, but there are laws, there are procedures, there are things that have to be followed. So let's just be honest. So this person, who again, we all just agreed on, according to the government, according to every journalistic source, says that this individual was in possession and leaking classified information. If they took a document of some nature and gave it to a Washington Post reporter who then put it on their cell phone and their phone, the government wants to make sure that that's not able to be hacked, that it's cleansed, that it's sanitized, so that it can't be hacked and accessed. We don't know what it was. The reporter, by the way, hasn't said a word. If she's so innocent, why wouldn't she come out and just say a statement? I never got
lawyers, I'm sure, don't want her to say
wait, hold on. So what? Okay, then why wouldn't the lawyer come out and say, this is an absurdity? Like this, our reporter did nothing wrong. They have no classified information. I actually thought that was an interesting little nugget that wasn't revealed. If I were accused of something, the first thing I'd say is I'm innocent, or I'd have my lawyer say I'm innocent. Not a peep from the Post. No one at the Washington Post, from the editorial page to the senior, from the publisher to the editors, have said anything about the nature of what she possessed or didn't. And that to me is a big tell.
There's still a possible accommodation process, and that, is supposed to happen first.
No, it's not supposed to happen. No, that's not true. It can happen. I've been on the flip side of this. It can happen. On the other hand, we don't know what the nature of the classified information was. If the government doesn't want her to know, God, you just took something and you have no idea how big of a deal that is, I don't want you to know.
John, I will remember how much you trust and love our government's judgment.
No.
Unbelievable.
I said there's a big difference between being skeptical of the government
and classified info.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way,
so hold on a sec then. So all those papers in Mar-a-Lago, people should be held accountable for classified info.
No, first of all, I've been clear, Dan. I believe that classified information should be handled differently. But I do think, again, what's the law say? The president of the United States.
They were enforcing the law.
You keep referring to the law.
The issue was whether they should do it to Trump.
And the law says the president has the right to declassify stuff and possess it. There also is a history of the National
Hold on a second, but he never, that's the farce of this, but okay. All right.
I was going to say, but you keep referring to the law. There is a 1980s law that bars the search warrant of reporters' work materials unless they are suspected of the crime themselves. I mean, there's a lot of technicalities here, and we can continue to talk about it. But I just would say, like, in 2013, the Obama administration went down this road with a Fox News reporter, and it was universally just totally, bashed by both sides at that point.
When James Rosen's stuff was searched, no one in the mainstream media gave a crap.
Oh, that is not true. That is simply not true. But when President AOC shows up at certain doors, I'll remember this.
You can call me.
We disagree on
whatever island I'm on. You let me know if she becomes president. Don't worry about it.
Sean's living in France at that point. Yep.